I've got a con that I paneled at slash worked. um, but that honestly, will I talk more about that experience in here's an update. My first zine formatted newsletter, which is going to be posting here on Substack at some point this week when I hit publish. I figured out how to create a template and then added text and stuff to it and made it feel like as much as a digital zine as I could. I feel like I don't know that it's going to stay long term forever, that format, but it's the first time I'm doing it. It's what I wanted to do with this. So that's what's going to happen is that'll get published. It's only 3 pages, I think. It's not super long. So I didn't want to write like a 10,000 word magnum opus for the first one. You know what I mean? Even though I probably could because working the con was incredible. So it, it was everything I could have wanted it to be. Honestly, I had such a fucking blast. Um, if you don't like cuss words, probably not a great space for you right here. Because my Substack, I'm treating just as zine-tastic as possible. So it's just authentically everything that comes to my brain is coming out of my mouth and getting published and written and typed and all the things all the time. So all of that to say, if you don't want to hear cuss words, probably tune out now and I won't be offended. Okay, great. I had such a fucking good time at Five Star Comic Con. I will save a lot of it for what I wrote, and then I'll make sure that what I wrote actually encapsulates what I wanted to say about it. But for the first time being a part of the team that got to put on a con, I I couldn't have asked for a better experience. Honestly, I had a great time. I got to spend the weekend with just friends, right? It's funny. Alex M. Clark, you have to include the M because there's a lot of Alex Clarks, is I met him at the Space Expo back in April up in Columbus. And, he was selling his comics and stuff. And we just clicked immediately. And it was like, oh, we're going to be friends now. So I'm part of this con in Middletown. You totally come down and work it and hang out. And, it's a smaller con. So he was like, yeah, I'm done in. And I was like, okay, cool. And I had other people tell me that same thing. So I didn't know what to expect, but he about 2 months ago was like, hey, I'm looking to book a hotel. Are there deals that I can get in on? And I was like, oh shit, you're like actually coming. Cool, cool, cool. Okay. And so we, then started ramping up our messaging back and forth. And then the day he was like, hey, I'll be coming on Friday night to set up the booth and everything. If you're available after setup's done, I would love to hang out, grab a drink, whatever. And I was like, you know what? I would love that too. And we became quick best friends over the weekend. And it was great hanging out with him Friday, and then we had a drink and draw event Saturday night that was basically through the con. That was essentially like a lot of the con staff team, and then a handful of the like maybe 4 or 5 vendors that were there as well came, and had a blast. I won. Congratulations and salutations for my haiku. So now I can say that I'm award-winning haiku author. um, but it was just so much fun, and it just all day, both days was just running all over the place. I got so many freaking steps, but I also was checking in with vendors and talking to creators and making announcements and acting a fool that way and hosting the cosplay contest and getting to just nerd out with kids who are cosplaying for the first time and just creating all of these things. I definitely didn't go to the staff green room afterwards and get all up in my feels of just how freaking cool of an experience it was hosting both the adult cosplay on Saturday and then the kids cosplay on Sunday. It was just so great. I made some creator friends, and I had my first ever experience like swapping books with creators because I had copies of my book. Because, and now if you backed it, you might already have a copy of my book too. And if you do, I would love to see your reaction. I would love to get feedback. I would love to hear from you. I want to know what you thought of it. There was a lot of work that Chris and I put into it, and I am so over the moon that it is out and released and in public. Like I shipped those out, I think Monday, and Carmen in Jersey, like a couple states over, already got his copy today. So that means anybody that backed in Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, probably Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee, maybe some of the Virginias, and then some of the East Coast. I don't know. I don't know about the New Yorkers with like New York City specifically, but like I don't know how long it's going to take to get there. But like they are probably starting to receive them. Vaughn, you shouldn't have to wait too much longer because it was UPS like ground advantage saver or something. I don't know. So you should get it before the end of the week. And then Chris, I got to put your box together and bring that back to work. I'll probably do that Friday because I'll have time tomorrow to actually put that box together for you and get that out so that you can finally hold our freaking book. Sorry for keeping them hostage. I realized that earlier today. Actually, I was like, "Oh God, he still hasn't like held our book. I'm an asshole. I should have sent you some of the proofs that we got." But anyway, um, all of that fulfillment stuff, I was fulfilling things until like 2 in the morning, and I'm not sleeping apparently, and I'm not eating either. I don't know what that says about me, but like I'm just so there's so many things that are happening for me currently right now. Like I just got done recording a panel for the next iteration of the virtual Comic Con happening in November. I forget the dates, but you'll hear about them. But it was all about like working and tabling conventions. And I took a ton of notes because I'm going to utilize those when I start showing up at conventions in 2026. That's the plan. At least I missed the deadline for one that I really wanted to get into in October, but I signed up to volunteer, so I'll be working the event. So I'll still be there, but I won't be behind a table. I'll be in front of one, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to come with my pockets stuffed with my zines because it's a zine fest and I'm stoked about it. So, speaking of conventions, back to the point though, I met a whole lot of people. I learned one of the coolest things. I got my first official feedback on the book, and it just like from industry professionals that have been doing this professionally for like 20 years. And um, one of them the first person that I got the actual feedback from is Victor Dandridge. And he is such an just inspiring person because what he did was he created comic books that are basically digital, but they're collectible too. So like kids can scan the QR code with their phone or their tablet or whatever, read the comic, and then say, "Hey, friend at recess, this comic called The Kinder Guardians," which, come on, is super fun. Like, I really liked it. You should check it out. Scan this QR code. And the cards are collectible because the characters that are on them and the character write ups and stuff are different, even though the comics are the same. So there's still a collectibleness to the trading card. But what he does is he teaches teachers how to incorporate comics into their curriculum. It's insane. Like, it's the coolest thing that I could possibly think of. I was like, man, I'm so jealous I didn't think of this first because working with students and working with teachers to teach comics and pushing what a comic can be, like this is next level shit and cool as hell. He was a super dope dude to talk to. I gave him my book. I was like, hey, I just think you're like super engaging. I moderated a panel that he was a part of, and he was just so much fun to talk to that I was like, I got to give you my book, man. Like, I just want you to have my book. It just came out like I would love if you want to send me feedback or whatever. He was like, oh shit, I'll read it today and get you feedback today. And I was like, no way. And then like 2 hours later, we had a 20-minute conversation about how much he loved Barricade Brigade. It was awesome. It was the best. But he makes these, that's him, that's Vic right there. He makes these like fold up books that then unfold, and he runs like panels. You create comics is the thing that he does with students, but it's like a whole ass worksheet thing with prompts and QR codes so you can read stuff and see some videos. And then he folds it neatly into this little package and he gives that to people, and people hire him, and he just works with their teachers to teach comics to people. And like, hey, if you want to engage people in a different and unique way, you can do that with creatives through comics. Just like the best. I was like, man, I want to be able to give you all of the money so that you can do this all the time, because it's such a cool thing that you're doing. I would have lost my mind if I was a student in middle school and someone came in and like wanted to teach comics, because stupidly enough, it's still a conversation of like, do comics count as literature and do comics count as reading? And I don't think I need to go into anything of like, yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. If I didn't read comics, I wouldn't have started reading novels, because I was reading novels about characters that I read first in comics. And then from there, I read other books that had pictures in them, like the classics illustrated. So I read Moby Dick and The Last of the Mohicans because there were pictures in them, because that's what I was used to with comics. Like, it was a gateway drug for me into reading. And I still read all the time. Shocking, I know. I don't just, well, sometimes I do just sit here and stare at those books because, come on. But, so that was, Victor was one person that I had a great time just talking to and getting to know. Obviously Alex, and, but the other person that I really enjoyed talking with was Fish Lee, Mr. Fish. And he's got a book called Alice Lost in Wonderland. And I am excited to dig into this book because he has hidden, he told me, he kind of gave me a challenge. There's a page in here that has like 5 hidden messages, and only like 3 people have found all 5 of them. And he's been doing this book for like 10 years. But he was part of the drink and draw on Saturday night after the con. And as we were talking about stuff, he was like, oh, I also make mini comics, and they enhance the story that is being told in the main narrative. And I was like, yo, I'm doing the same thing. I made mini zines that just build the world further of Barricade Brigade in like little 8-panel page zines. And so anyway, if you should definitely, he's got a Patreon, Mr. Fish Comics. I know it's backwards. Listen, it's going to be like that. The basement's a mess. So, but Mr. Fish Comics, like, like a fish. Fish was super cool to talk to. I moderated a panel that he was a part of. It was a drawing duel with he and Justin Wasson, and it just like super fun. It was just super fun hanging out with him at the drink and draw and talking and just laughing a lot with him. And we talked with Victor together too. It was all, oh, it's not backwards on Substack. Perfect. That's great, because it's super backwards for me. So I'm glad that you can read it. Substack again, beating Meta. And we now break these indie comic creator conversations for some comics that I picked up that I'm just really excited about. You know me, I always am on the hunt for old horror comics and stuff. But one of the books that I don't talk about often is I would love to collect more of the Gold Key Scooby-Doo books, because Scooby is my favorite. I was Scooby. People call me Scooby. Whole separate thing, and I've never found any in person that I could actually afford, because they're all hella rare and super expensive. And so I did though find this one with the Phantom Clown, who like is just one of the best, right? And I thought to myself, well, I'm buying that book. So I finally have a Gold Key Scooby book. Yay for me. But then I also like I had never seen this book before, Madhouse, but it's a vampire hunter and it's a big vampire and it's a striking cover. So I had to get this one, right? Like finding books that I've never seen before. This was January of 75. I like, come on, look at the freaking vampire, dude. It's so dope. Yeah, that was one that I was like, okay, well, speaking of covers, Charlton Comics nailed it with this book. It's just like super, super good. Um, what is Johanga's curse? Ooh, I don't know, but I'm gonna find out, and it's gonna be awesome. I also plan on reading all of these in October because naturally it's the best time to read. And then this one, another one, these covers that it's got like the death moniker on it of like the skeleton in a shroud. And I had to get this one in part because it's an ancient Aztec curse. And Aztec and Mayan and all of the things, right? Do you see where I'm going here? So I had to get this one too because I just like the realism of like the death character on the cover. So those were the books that I bought from a vendor. And then I also had to uh buy at least one indie comic because obviously. So I'm gonna give you here's the business card. My friend Josh, I met him actually at Space as well. There was a handful of people from Space, which I love seeing. That there were so many. Like he graduated from the Columbus College of Art and Design, CCAD. He did Space. He was here at the 5 Star, and then just like 3 days ago, he was CXCX, which is another like Columbus small press thing that I completely I it wasn't even on my radar, or else I would have gone to that too. But he was at the Drink and Draw, and we found I found him through Instagram initially, and then saw him at Space. There's the I don't know why it's not focusing on that. I'll do the TikTok thing. Is this better? Is that focusing? So you can find him. Moban Kiki, he's the Kaizen creative. But I got the final one, and it's a square bound, which I am a sucker for. But this book started as their Inktober challenge, and it's he and Tim Bevins, who's another CCAT graduate. It's called Inking Under Pressure, and it just like it covers a whole lot of styles and subjects, but it's got like it's just got super dope art, and then some have art and stories. And he was telling me about it. Like some are full on cartoon comics, some are just the illustrations that they did. But I was like, dude, this rips, man. I need this. He had some prints that he had colored that he was selling as well at his table. But I was like, yeah, man, there's both creatives. There's Josh on top and Sam on the bottom, and then their QR codes for all their stuff. You should definitely find them and follow them because uh, they're fresh out of college. They're new, young creators that are making things, and they have ideas that I think are really cool. So, uh, get your antenna up and have them on your radar, and then thank me later. You're welcome. I'm glad you picked up, Chris. On where I was going there. So let's talk about streams that I've had because I haven't stopped doing those. Let's see. Did I talk about Braden? I had Braden on. Braden was talking about Sketch Nights on Kickstarter. I don't have the end date on that, so I hope if it is still going that you go check out Sketch Night with a K. I had a great that was one of the streams. I was having a shit day and was just like tired and exhausted, and it was almost one of those where I was like, man, it'd be so easy to just cancel this, right? Like it was one of those days. And I was like, nope, he like Braden's another Rolling Squidbone creator. And I, he's been trying to get on for months. And so the campaign is active. Let's get on and talk. And I genuinely laughed a whole lot. Just like the unexpected laughter. And so if you just want to laugh a whole lot or watch me laugh a whole lot, on the 8th of September, I talked to Braden. We talked about Sketch Night. And then I had Dees Casillas on the 15th, which was the Monday after. I probably then already stalked Braden. Whatever. It's worth mentioning again. But I had Dees on the 15th. So the day after 5-Star Comic Con was done. We were talking about Kill Stan, issue number 3. Still had late pledges. Dees has Inferno Earth is like his all the things. So at inferno.earth, I think is his social handle like everywhere. But we talked about like Clockwork Orange. He's also a stand-up comedian. Like full-time. Like he's a full-time stand-up comedian. And he just happens to also write comics that are sick. So tell Dees I said what's up. So like it was fun to talk with him. And then I just this past weekend, because these are more fresh, so I still have more fresh memories of these because they're a lot, right? I had Patrick Lugo on Sunday, and he was on to talk about his book that launches October 1st called The Undead Kung Fu Ghost Killer. And if you like martial arts at all, you should watch that episode or listen to it, whatever. I don't know your life. Because we got real deep into the weeds talking about martial arts, talking Kung Fu, different styles, different meanings behind it, the lore of all of Kung Fu and why it matters. We talked a ton. He dropped so many obscure like martial arts movies that I got to find a way to work those onto my list that I'm falling quickly behind on, even though it's not even October yet. I started with 82 movies on my list, and I think I've watched 9. But I work in person now, so I can't just sit at home and watch them while I'm working. And it's way better, by the way. It's just like work is so much better now. But the one that stood out is Seven Brothers and One Sister Against Dracula, and it's from 1974. He showed the trailer on Blue Sky. So you can see the trailer of the movie that he's talking about because it's as ridiculous as it seemed when he was telling me about it, and I'm super into it. And you do need to go back and watch that one. You're right. If you grew up doing Taekwondo, listen, after we talked, I was like, maybe I should practice or like try Tai Chi or something, like one of the more meditative, slower things. Because like it just seems like a good Zen find your like I don't know. I don't know. I don't have time for it. But if I did, I would do that in yoga, hot yoga specifically, because you're going to sweat anyway. So might as well intentionally be sweating. And then you're not the only one in a studio tuned to 100 degrees. Yeah. Klugo, though, great dude. Had a great time talking with him. And then speaking of great times, The Invisible Man. It's been a while since I watched anything Invisible Man. Like I think the last iteration or version of any Invisible Man movie that I watched was probably Hollow Man with Kevin Bacon, like 7 years ago. Because Kevin Bacon, right? Like, whatever. By the way, I have a degree of bacon of 3. So if you know me, you have a degree of bacon of 4. You're welcome. If you want to find out how your number is so low and you actually have a degree of bacon, let me know. And I'll fill you in on the deets there. the original is super good too, though. Like when did the Lee Winnell one come out? Like, was that like a '50s redo, or was that later when they were redoing everything in the like late '70s? Or am I just completely off base and pulling numbers out of my butt? By the way, happy fall season. If you have access to the best pumpkin beer, Southern Tier makes it. It's called Pumpkin. It's an imperial pumpkin ale. It's delightful. If you like maple or caramel, they also have variations of it. But for me, those flavors just completely overpower the pumpkin. Like if I'm drinking a pumpkin beer, I want to drink pumpkin beer and I want it to taste like a pumpkin beer. Um, so Carolette number 4 is gonna hurt coming out. Whoa, hey now. I don't 2020. Oh, dope. Yeah, no, I'm super in. Oh, great. I'm so good at this. I'm gonna go die in the corner of embarrassment. Just enjoy this book wall for a second as I die in just seriously 2020. Get out of here. All right, that's enough. On Monday, I talked with um, Zach Quaintance. Zach is another one that I have been trying to. I like that the book wall gets a pop in the comments. Um, Zach and I have been trying to link up for like we had talked last year about getting him on the show and it just didn't work out. And so this year we legit booked this Monday stream in February. So if you're an up and coming indie creator and you're looking to do podcasts and you know when you're launching your book, schedule that shit early because I had a ton of creators that wanted to get on. They're like, "Hey, I'm launching my book next week. Can I hop on?" It's like, "Bro, I've had next week booked for 6 months. I don't have any openings. I'm sorry." The most that you can do is pre-plan and help yourself as you're pre-planning. Look, it's 9:30 and I'm still talking about I mean, I have a stack of stuff to unbox too. This is what happens when I do this every other week instead of every week. You definitely should have picked up Starjammer floppies. So Zach and I got into this whole we came up with a great comic idea called Deadbeat Dads in Space. Or Deadbeat Space Dads. See, I wrote it down. But we were talking about Starjammers and I have always thought Chad was a badass character and so weird and different, and I like weird and different in my comics, and I like my X-Men comics in space. And so we were talking Starjammers, and yeah, so like it just we laughed a whole lot. I don't know how I got like super manic during that stream, and I was just all over the place. And he, for the most part, kept up. There were only a couple times that I was like, I've completely lost him. I need to get back to him because I have turned this into the me show. And I don't want that to be the case. We'll be talking about his thing. His book, Macabre Valley, #1, is a werewolf priest comic book. Super dope. The colors are great. The inks are heavy and black. It's a great looking book. And it's running on Kickstarter right now. So you can go, you can find that, you can just search it on Kickstarter, or you can go to our live stream. You can watch it. You can laugh with us. You can click on the link and you can back it all at the same time. And all you have to do is find my YouTube, and there you go. Also, while you're there, you can just subscribe, and then you'll be notified when I post new episodes or when I'm going live. Because I only ever do things live. And I know it's my show, but like, okay, no, that's fine. I'll just give myself some grace there. It is. It's my show. You're right. And so I'm allowed to talk. I hope that that episode though was half as enjoyable as what I hope people that watched it got in as much enjoyment out of watching it as I did hosting it, because it was like that stream specifically. That's why I started doing this show, to just laugh and talk with creators and geek out about things and find out about comics and share comics and talk about things and, you know, deconstruct story and all of like examine why genre works, how it does, but then also talk about werewolves and horror comics. So uh Chris liked it, so great. That's enough. Um this coming week, I have to clarify some stuff because I think I know for sure Sunday is happening, but Monday is a question mark because I just had the person that shows up on my schedule for Monday. I just had him on like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. So I think I worked him in earlier because the campaign dates and stuff, and I had a cancellation, and he was the first one that was on my upcoming to get in early. But the one on Monday is still scheduled, so I got to figure that out. It might be a one show stream for me this weekend. I don't know. And all that means is more writing because we're going into full on Barricade Brigade #1 writing mode starting on Saturday. Uh, I still don't know. I should figure that out when that when that funeral is, so that I know when I can actually sit down and FaceTime you, Chris, and we can figure stuff out. Um, so there's that. But working in more creative breaks, I think is going to be important, and that also might play into my plan for the show next year. I'm not going anywhere. The show's still happening, but like things might be changing again. So just get ready for that if you need to. But I have Post Punk returning to the show from Part Time Comics. John Westhoff, he's a Watermelon groupie. He is in my comic book, and I am happy to get him back on the show. For CPS 4. I believe that's the final issue of CPS. So it'll be fun talking to John again. Always super good to hang out with people that love comics and music, and he is both of those. So I like that. Change equals growth. That's right. We're growing personally, creatively, professionally, all the ways, all the time. I have a big, tall stack, and I'm going to flip it upside down and start from the bottom. That's what we're going to do. So this first book, wow. I um oh shit, this is from Comicsford. So couple actually it might have been my last Fox Talk. I opened a swag bag goodie bag from Comicsburg, and this might be the comic itself. We'll see. I didn't pre-cut or pre-open any of these. So you're gonna have to stare at my very pink hat. Oh shiz! Great. Issue 3, this is completely different. A growth my man. Oh, hey. Okay, so first, Memoirs of the Morbid. I'm not familiar with this, but apparently it's the third volume of an acclaimed indie horror anthology coming to Kickstarter in October. Listen, October is a dangerous month for me on Kickstarter because so many creators are putting out so many badass horror comics, and I love horror comics. And so I want to buy all of them, and I can't, but I want to. So, you can screenshot this and then follow those QR codes so that you can find Memoirs of the Morbid, follow the Kickstarter, or you can just follow Comicsbird on social media and sign up for the newsletter. Linktree here, Kickstarter here. So do the thing. I'll wait. Okay. But the main event of this package is just a super rad. I see, this is me being, I don't put things together well, I guess. I didn't realize that Comicsburg also does this comic. League of Cryptids. I got issues 1 and 2 earlier this year. I think I opened those. And then, or 1, 2, and 3, because this is issue 4. This is issue 3. I got issues 1 and 2 earlier this year. And this is issue 3. And it's cryptids, and they're fighting other cryptids, and it's a super fun book. But this is they go and fight the frogmen, which is actually in Lebanon, Ohio, which is like just right down the street from me. It's like a 25-minute. I drive by Lebanon every day going to work, so I could easily just pop off and go see the frogmen of Lebanon, Ohio, because it's there. This next book, I'm excited to get that because I really enjoyed the first two. Issue 1 was super fun. Issue 2 only made it better, and I only anticipate issue shit. Um. Uh. I okay. Um. I just lost everything because I opened this package. So I do this thing where I have a favorite creator, right? He's got an entire shelf here. I've talked to him on my show before. I have been supporting him on Patreon, and I bumped up my backer level so that he sends out, it's Matt Kent. Surprise. Those that know, they're like, oh yeah, he's talking about Matt Kent. Here we go. But he does this thing on Patreon where if you back it, or if you support him at a certain tier, you get a custom box of like random goodies and stuff every 6 months. So twice a year, in the summer and then around Christmas time. And I bumped up my pledge or my like support level thing. I was doing it so that I could read his webcomic Ne'er Do Well, which is like a crime noir, he's just so good at writing crime. Who am I kidding? He's just great at writing comics, period. Hi, Katie. But I didn't expect to be getting this box today, or this time around. I thought like, oh, I'll give myself an early Christmas present and just support the higher tier, and that'll be like, it'll be perfect in time for Christmas. But I guess I did it early enough that I got the box this time. So I got a super sick pin for his webcomic, Ne'er Do Well, which is the logo. I also have the shirt that has that on it. Got a nice little handwritten thank you note. We've got a sticker bomb of stickers. I don't even know how many are in here, but there's a bunch. So there's a sticker pack. And then I've got, looks like the mock-up of what eventually would be a character design. So like, I love his artwork, man. It's like and he does everything watercolor. It's so good. But he does this like diagram thing. It's a recurring bit that he does in his books where he did it in Black Badge, where it was like an undercover like Boy Scout thing, but the Boy Scouts were saving the world. And he did like a blow up diagram of the Boy Scouts uniform and how they had hidden weapons and like bomb detection kits and all sorts of craziness. I love this. One of my favorite movies of all time. The comic is also outstanding. V for Vendetta. Like, come on, all the black just automatically directs you straight to his mask, which is outstanding. And then I love this piece, like celebrating like Hellboy. Come on, V and Hellboy, these are great. Excellent stuff. And then I'm so stoked on this one because I was on a Zoom call with him last week, and he was talking about this flip book ash can that he put together. It's all done in black and white. And he specifically was saying how he was, this is Matt Kent. He's my favorite creator. He was saying how he specifically wanted to like go to Staples. He printed these. He asked them for their worst printer. He was like, I want something to feel very, very zine, very old school, very DIY. I want to staple it myself. Do you have a really old printer that might be a little bit blurry or whatever? Like, that's the level that this man thinks about on creating all of his comics. And so he wanted to do that. And they were like, we actually do have a really old school printer back here. You can use that. And so he did, and he ran off copies. He only ran off 100, and I got the 27th copy of it. I saw the process video of making this whole cover. And so like, I love that I got this. Used a highlighter for the only color on the cover. Like, just come on. This is good shit. I am so stoked right now. This is why I saved to open this, because usually I just get like postcards from him. as part of his Patreon. But now to get the two, so these are probably the two monthly postcards because he's putting them together. And then, so those are probably the monthly postcards. And then I got the flip book and the watercolor original piece, and then the sticker bomb and the button and the little handwritten thank you note, like all top tier stuff. It's the best money that I'm spending to support my favorite creator ever. Cause then it allows him to continue making books that he is thinking about and wanting to make in ways that he wants to make them. Like he has his own imprint with Dark Horse called Flex House that he is doing wild shit. Like he has a book called Hairball that's a horror book about cats. And he released a flocked hardcover edition of the book. So like flocked is if you pet it, it's soft and fuzzy like a cat would be. And it's a horror book about cats. I don't know if you're putting this all together, but nobody's making comics like Matt Kindt right now. Nobody's doing anything like he is. And I will forever stand and mark out and just hype up everything that he does. So, if you have more questions, I would love to tell you about it. But, or, like, obviously, right, the whole shelf of his books. It didn't happen by accident. And that's not all of them. I have a bunch that are floppy too. So, yeah. Hand crank printer? Shut up. That'd be rad. I also don't know if you're serious or not because you're talking about the tricorn hat. And I feel like that might not be. Speaking of John, this package is from John. Yes. Oh my God, Katie. Matt Kindt would be an excellent person for you to start just diving into with reading because he writes things that are very intricate and very well planned and thought out, and oftentimes have multiple meanings. And I think you would dig it. So, yes, we will definitely talk about Matt Kindt now that you're not disappeared in the ether. This was really hard to open. Sick, dude. So this is my copy of. Oh, yo, that's smart. How smart is that? Putting a QR code on the, like, it's just a little label that's got a QR code that probably takes you to the newest Kickstarter. So I remember backing this because I specifically backed with the sketch card tier because he was like, I'm not an artist. And as someone who used to say that all the time, I'm getting better, Chris, I had to get one. And so he's got a sketch card of Argyle, which is his arachnigator. It's an alligator with 8 legs that his daughter came up with. And then he worked into his book and it became a thing. And he's got plush, like stuffed animals of Argyle. It's awesome. And printed on the back, like the King Bone Press. Smart that the sketch card has I hadn't seen that before we did it. Now that they're out in the world, and so seeing that John did that too, love it. Thanks. This hat is Mark Hoppus's. Hi, my name is Mark. It is the one more time variant of the hat. He also has all black, and then the octopus is white. But he was running a sale, and I was like, well, I have to get the pink one because obviously. And One More Time is an outstanding album, and I pre-ordered it on vinyl, and it's you can't see it. It's over there. It's not on the book wall. It's on its own little shelf with other records that I have. But this is Band on the Silver Mountain issue number 3. I love this series. It's so good. What if instead of the Beatles being the biggest band of all time, it was a metal band? That's what this, and like Magic is Real, and it's fantastic. It's super good. There's werewolves, there's all sorts of just dark imagery and phantoms and all the things. So yeah, and hey, big ad on the back cover for Drunk Mom. Shout out to CL Zeno. Drunk Mom 2, I think, is still running, right? Anybody know? I wish it was a rolling Squidbones hat, but this is an octopus and they're different. I'm really nerdy about cephalopods. So yeah, this is Mark Hoppus's octopus, and it started like it's his whole branding image thing is he has that on a lot of his bases. And he's done limited release pins that I can never catch on time because they sell out immediately. And I just don't set alarms for pin drops. Late pledges are perfect. So Drunk Mom 2, late pledges are still open. It's a comic not about a mom who drinks, but a mom who moonlights as a superhero. Everybody thinks that she's always drunk all the time because she's always tired and looks worn out and all of the things. And it's because she's been out fighting crime. So that's Drunk Mom in a nutshell. We absolutely need hats. Yes, we do. Cephalopodcast. Listen, I could do a whole segment, just like a quick little segment of like, here's a cute cephalopod I found today. Check it out. And then short video. And that's it. I do. I love squid. I love octopus. I'm the one when we go to the aquarium and the zoo that I just stop there. And I'm like, okay, well, go have fun. Go. Because I think they're fascinating creatures. And so there's that. This next envelope that I just opened, oh sick, is from the Columbus Scribbler, and they did a Kickstarter for their next issue of their newspaper of the 50 greatest comic characters of all time. And I obviously had to know who their 50 greatest were. And it's supporting the Columbus Scribbler, which was very involved. See, there's CXC, which just happened. But which they were heavily involved with a lot of remember at that time that I just was talking about Josh and how he graduated from CCAD? That it's like, yeah, I had to know who was in their top 50. So I backed it so that I would get it. And it's a whole newspaper. Oh, the Turtles are on there. Charlie Brown is on there. But it's just fun. It's a whole newspaper of just comics and articles about comics and the countdown and all the things. Wow, Spider-Man's coming in at number 3. Huh. How about that? So anyway, that's going to be a super fun read for me for later. Yeah. There's V. There's V. All right, that's the Columbus Scribbler. Support local press is really what it comes down to. Yeah, that's what it comes down to. All right, the last box. I just got this yesterday, and I know what this is because it's from another post-punk. And I think Vaughn, you probably got your. It's not Peanuts, actually. I feel like Vaughn, you might have backed this. Chris, I don't know if you did either, but friend of the show, Stephen Prince, perhaps writing one of the coolest fucking indie series there is with Monster Matador. This, if I can get it open, Aval had one of the dopest variant covers of all time. Of all times, this is just the night of opening up comics that came with sketch cards. That's what this is. But that's because Steven is such a gem and he does a sketch for every single backer, for every single physical pledge that he gets on all of his campaigns for Monster Matador. I don't know how he keeps up because it's so much. It's so much. He's not running small campaigns. He's running like 150 backer campaigns and he's doing sketch cards for every single one of them. And I don't know how he does it. It started as like he was just excited to do it thing, and then people loved it, including me, and he has continued doing it. So let me show you that first. Oh God, tape on the book. Don't. Oh, okay, all right, okay, it's okay. This is the newest spin-off from the Monster Matador world. It is called Blood of the Matador. And stretch goals. Let's see, we got a sticker. There's the Monster Matador himself. Wow, you guys are really, really showing up and showing out here, huh? um, it's not just a rough sketch card. Like, that's good shit. Everybody's got one. I now have like 4 or 5 of these. Because once I found it, I was like, I have to have all of these. This is a series I'm going to buy I'm going to back every single issue you put out, as well as Proctor from Carmen. Anyway, so he does these every single time. I know, Chris, you have a lot going on. I get it. Someone's at my front door. That's weird. Here's the dope ass cover that I was talking about. Like, it became a print as a stretch goal. So I just like look at it. It's so good. Um, and then finally, here is, I don't remember, I think this is the standard cover, but there's the book, Blood of the Matador. It's such a good series. So anyway, if you like monster kaiju and you like matadors and um, you know, dope ass creators making dope ass books and super fucking sick variant covers that become prints and custom sketch cards on every single book that you ever get from him. Stephen Prince is your guy, and Monster Matador is your series. So, all right, thanks for popping in, KT. Appreciate the support. You can, yeah, no, After October is super real. 5 commissions, 3 back-to-back shows. Hell yes, keep crushing it. I will see if I can maybe finally make it to one of your shows. So that would be nice, right? Every time you have a show, I already have something happening, and it's unfortunate because I want to come out and hang out, and see what other creators are out at your things. So, okay, now that it is almost 10 o'clock for me, Eastern Standard Time, which time is a construct, man. I'll give you 4 minutes of quick hits. Let's see. Horror panels are back. They're coming in October. I'm locking those in. I have yet to, there's one final panel that I need to lock down. But the rest are set. And so, dude, you really do need to dig into Monster Matador. It's on Global Comics. So you can check out Monster Matador on Global Comics and dip your toe in the world and fall in love, and then you're like, damn it, now I gotta back everything and do the catch-up tier physical and spend like $90 for the physical catch-up tier, but it's so worth it. It's so good. Horror panels are back in October. So get hyped for that. I'm hyped for that. I love horror. I think everybody said yes to, like, yeah, hey, let's watch a movie and then talk about that, and also talk about horror and why that works. So I'm excited about that. It'll be a new thing that we try this time around, and it's horror. So, like, hell yeah. Also, 2025 is fully booked for me. It's booked. I don't have any openings. I've none openings left, because I take December off because this is a sprint and it's a lot, and I like having a month off to just reset, and it's a mental health thing, and I just need a break. I get off social media. I don't do anything for the entire month of December. So if you're launching or running a campaign in December, sorry, I'm not going to back it because I'm not going to be on social media to see it. So that's going to happen. If you want to watch The Bachelor, Vaughn, I guess we could, but we'll just have to text about it. Maybe we can do like a FaceTime and just all FaceTime each other and watch The Bachelor. I don't want to do that. I have zero interest in watching The Bachelor. I can't even run that joke because then it'll become a thing that happens. And I don't, yeah, talk about real horror. The Bachelor. That's terrifying. It's all a popularity grab anyway. Oh shit, the Phantom's on there. Sorry, I clearly am very Anson City. Okay. Yeah. Great. Great. Um, See, Chris, I knew with you saying I'm in, it's like, let's watch horror movies instead and talk about them on a Sunday in October on my live stream. That sounds great, right? Done. Because I already have it. I already have you on my schedule, so you can't back out. I just have to set those up. Speaking of setting things up, I set up the formats with the zine style newsletters that I'm going to be doing right here on Substack. And so just letting you know that those are going to start coming. I don't know the frequency. I'm not going to say something because I don't want to say something and then not follow through and then feel bad because I didn't follow through on something that I was self-imposing. So they'll come out when I feel like them releasing them. Otherwise, I'll just be hanging out here on Substack and posting notes and sharing links and doing these when I can on Wednesdays. So there's that. I need to follow up with Apollo City Comics because we were supposed to work on something together and I haven't followed up on my end and I feel bad. So Brandon and or Eric, if you're watching this, my bad dudes, I will get with you soon. Speaking of things that are self-imposed, I, just want to take on more stuff apparently. October also brings with it the Cincinnati Zine Fest that I will be working. I'm not tabling because I missed the timing because I suck, but I'll be working that. So hopefully meeting some local zinesters, swapping some zines, getting to know some people, and just getting into more creative circles because I don't have enough of those. Apparently, I just want all of the connections. Next update's work is great. It's so good. I'm exhausted physically because my body is changing because I'm constantly carrying boxes and moving shit around and running around on my feet all day long. And it's the best change that could have happened. So that's stellar news. I actually now I like my job. I'm working more than 40 hours a week and I'm salary, so I'm only getting paid for 40 hours, but I know that the work that I'm doing actually matters. Like I'm directly impacting the company's profits and sales with what I'm doing. Like it's a revenue creating position. So I'm basically paying for my own salary at this point with stuff that I've done. I've only been there for a month, which is awesome. So there's that. What else have I done? Oh shit. I have done very bad at the practicing drawing with the show and tell thing. I have not been drawing anything recently, other than like graffitiing the packages that I sent out for the Kickstarter reward. So if you got a Kickstarter reward, if you're a physical backer in the States or Canada, thank you. A. B. Enjoy my just graffiti. I did that Monday morning right after I got everything set up and ready for the UPS guy to pick up. I was like, you know what? I talked about doing this and I'm going to do it. And so I did it before I started work. So, because my boss wasn't in yet. So he doesn't need to know that. And he's not on Substack. He's too busy making sales and closing. So, I give so many shits. Dude, Mick's face in that picture, uh, stellar. Like, it's so good. It literally feels like it was lifted out of a picture from a punk zine from the 70s. Like it just the pose with the bent knee, and like those subtle things are the things that I think like you can see the work that you're putting in and the growth that you're already showing with just repeating the drawing of the faces and the eyes and the all of the body parts, the anatomy. So also I'm sorry for a thing that I wrote into the first chapter already in my brain. I'm gonna apologize now because it's not gonna be easy for you. It's gonna be a lot of drawing, but we'll talk about that Saturday when I do the next update of like we're officially back in creation mode now that we've got the issue 0 fulfilled. It's out. I do need to resend one book to Robert G, one of the two Robert G's that we have. Actually, we have two Robert G's. How cool is that? But I I think I need to resend one because I forgot to lock addresses before I mailed everything. And then I was like, oh, wait, I got to do that. And then I locked him, and then he changed his address, and UPS had already picked up. So unless they can forward it to him, which I doubt because it's UPS and they're probably not going to be able to do that, I'm going to resend a package out to him. I also, this is just more for you, Chris. I want to put together a couple packages and send them to creators that I either admire or have talked with before or whatever, of just like, hey, I made this thing and I'm proud of it. And like, I'm sending it to you because you had a part in me creating this. Like, you inspired me in some way, shape, or form. And I think it'd be cool if you wanted to do that too, just as like a thing that we do. You don't have to, no pressure, whatever. But I was just thinking, like, well, okay, I was thinking about sending it to Matt Kent because, like, hey, you're a large reason why I'm into comics as much as I am. And also, like, your work inspires me to make cool stories. And so here's a story that I made, and I just want to send it to you. I send one to him. I want to send one to Rafael Flores Jr. With Return of Kamazats, which I just found out today. He's going to be releasing a full collected trade of Return of Kamazats, so combining the first and second issues into one big oversized volume. I don't know what other bonuses and extras he's got planned for it, but that'll be coming to Kickstarter soon, so keep your antenna up for that. But I want to send one to him too. Like, those are the two specifically that I'm like, I know for a fact I want to send you stuff because like, they both had parts that they don't even, I think, realize in us making that story. Um, so yeah, so there's those things. I had a lot of really cool stuff to open, and I'm excited for all of this additional reading material on top of all the reading material that I already have waiting for me, because I need to be better about creating time. And that's part of the things that I'm working on going forward for 2026. Oh, also a reminder for the remainder of 2025, I'm not doing any more book reviews on the YouTube because I got to an unhealthy place with reading comics, and so book wall. It's like it's like Pee Wee Herman. Anytime I see it, I'm going to start freaking out and then just get out of the way. So you can look at the book wall. That'll become a bit that we only do here on Box Talk. And anybody that watches this that can't see the book wall, see, it's already happening. I don't know if these comments are visible in a rewatch because I don't rewatch any of these. I just live do it, brain dump, and then I'm out, and it's there for everybody else to watch. I don't know if these comments show up, which would be even funnier for me to just be randomly mid sentence and just pop out because someone dropped in book wall. So I'll make a reference to that about, doing fun secret things on Box Talk, and people should join and hang out, and or not, whatever. It can just be us. I'm totally fine with that too. I was saying something and then book wall happened. What was I saying? Oh, the review thing. I got to a really not healthy place with reviews. And so that's the thing that's on the table for next year, of like, I don't know if I'm going to continue, if I'm going to go back to doing that, or if I'm just going to do a more, like, instead of doing the video reviews, just put more thought into when I'm posting on socials for indie comics, instead of just like, this looks hella dope. Like, if I read it or had a chance to see a preview or something, like, I can give more thought into writing a social media post or including a bit in a newsletter that I put out. Like, hey, these are some indie comics that should be on your newsletter, that or on your radar, like that sort of thing. That's I'm still tooling with that because I don't know what is going to be sustainable for me, but I'm enjoying reading just for fun right now. Like, I'm just reading stuff that I want to read. Usually I was like, oh, it's on the top of my pile, so I got to start with that. And now I'm like, I know this just came in yesterday, but I'm reading it today. I'm not waiting to read the rest of these things. Because believe it or not, all of my to read shelf, which is here, is like in order. I bought this one the longest to go, and the ones down here the newest ago, and everything in between chronologically. Uh, and I keep my to read piles upstairs of floppies the same way, and Kickstarter rewards the same way, so that I'm reading the oldest thing first, even though I'm still months behind on all of it. So, um, dude, yeah, like sometimes it just takes a long time to like find time and space to actually sit and enjoy reading. And I'm a slow reader, and with comics especially, like I take my time reading them because I'm going to enjoy every single line and brushstroke and color and lettering trick, and I'm trying to learn as I'm reading as a creator. And so it takes me even longer when I'm reading books because I'm also taking mental notes of like, "Ooh, I really like how that was achieved, how they did that. Cool, cool, cool." So it takes me even longer doing it that way. So it takes me a while, is what I'm saying, to read, and it's not always easy to do, but I'm making headway. So good for me. Good for me. Those those are all the things. We made it. Probably the longest box talk yet. Solo, because I've had guests on and those go longer, but solo box talk, this is probably the longest one. So cheers to you for hanging tough and for sounding off and starting a new bit with me, and for just the general emotional support and cheers and excitement around what I'm doing. I never ever anticipated that this would ever take off like it has. So I am still in shock of it, and I still enjoy it, and I'm still having a blast with it. And I'm also killing time, Vaughn, so that you can real quick say whatever you're about to say in the chat. But yeah, so thanks for hanging out for a little bit, or for a lot of bits, or for the first time, or for your 100th time. I don't know how many times I've done these, so I can't give you an accurate number, but I don't need to, because we're just having fun. We're talking comics, talking reading, enjoying just creating and the process and all the things. And keep an eye out for the virtual creator con, because I did have a really good panel about conventions and working and tabling them. So it absolutely, yeah, it absolutely is. Um the tagline for my show, if you watch the live streams on YouTube, is which is at Longbox Punk, is how you find me there too. But I was like, well, I need to have a tagline. So like, it started with like, go read some comics because they're good for you. Or it just started like, go read some comics, and then go read some comics because they're good for you. And then we'll go read some indie comics because they're good for you. And then it suddenly, like, it still didn't feel like the ending. And so, yeah, the Robin Williams nod of like, because we are out of here, when he gets his freedom at the end of Aladdin. I'm out of here. uh and like, Robin Williams is just the best. Like, he's just the best. And I know I've mentioned it before, but if this is your first time watching, his passing was the only one that has ever just wrecked me. So for what that's worth, there that is. Yeah, there's a good amount of stuff that I say that comes from his stand-up specifically. Like the live on Broadway from 2000, which, by the way, he was filming when I was in New York City, visiting the September 11th remembrance there, 2001, 2002, whatever. God, whatever year we were there. I don't remember what year we were there, but the memorial thing was up, and it was heavy, emotionally heavy to be in New York City the year after 9/11 happened. But Robin Williams was there filming the Live on Broadway special, and that's my favorite stand-up of all time. And so, like, as we were walking around the city, some of my friends saw him like walking across the street on the other sidewalk, and they didn't fucking tell me until we got back on the bus at like dinner time. Like, oh yeah, I think we saw Robin Williams today, Chris. I was like, you did what? Why didn't you? You could have called me. I absolutely would have been the weirdo that like ran to wherever you were just to be able to see him like walking. And I wouldn't have been the like Robin Williams. I wouldn't have done that because I respect celebrities' privacy. But it would have been cool just to see him like walking in New York City. You know what I mean? Anyway, I was in the same city at the same time that he was, and I saw him in Cincinnati years later. I paid a stupid amount of money to sit in the third row by myself because no one else wanted to go with me, and paid the amount of money that I did to sit there, and that's fine because I had a great time by myself. I took myself out to dinner, and I went and saw some comedy at the theater, and I bought a hoodie that my ex stole because she sucks. I want my hoodie back because it had an embroidered RW on the front. It was a zip up hoodie and it had him on the back. With this was cut off, so it was a great hoodie, man. Yeah, dude, when I saw him live, I laughed so much. I literally couldn't laugh anymore. This never happened to me ever, and I laughed myself out. There was nothing. I just like the second half of his show. I just was because I couldn't laugh anymore. um, yeah, it just like incredible, man. It just was so good. He was such an incredible person, and I started listening to a biography of him, and then I had to stop because it was getting into the dark shit, and I was like, I don't want to hear the dark shit. Like, I want to remember the impact that he had through his movies and through his stand up, and through all of the appearances and all of the things that he did. I want to remember that and not the like dark, just muck. You know what I mean? Like that's one of those I can separate the two, but with him, I only want to remember the good. I don't want to remember all the shit that he was going through and dealing with all the time. So, if you have friends that this is weird, if you have a weird segue for me after an hour of solo talking into a screen, if you got friends that might be going through some shit, or even if you don't know if they're going through some shit and you just like randomly think of them, just fucking text them and tell them, hey, I don't know why, but when I was eating my breakfast, your name popped into my brain. You good? Everything cool? Because anytime that I've started just doing that, like if I think of somebody randomly, then I'm like, why am I thinking of that person? I'll just text them. And honestly, like 7 out of 10 times, they're like, actually, I got some shit. Like, it's weird that you texted me because I would love to just talk about it. Okay, let's talk. Whatever. So yeah, there's that. For what that's worth, take it, leave it. I don't care. I'm not your boss. I'm not going to control you. But if you think to do that and just try it because they might be going through some shit and you might be the person that they needed to reach out to them. So, yeah, reach out. The reach out moments mean the world. Like when other people have done that to me, like, hey, I was thinking about you today for some reason. I don't know why. You good? Like, is everything cool? Thinking that someone else is not only just like thinking about me randomly, but also taking it to that next step of like actually reaching out is just like, it's so good. It's so good. And actually, uh, hey, I already know you. Yeah. Yeah, dude. Chris he's a solid person to just brain dump at. For with no context and no precursor, just like, hey, here's a bunch of just ugly, nasty shit that I'm dealing with right now. I just need to get it out. So here you go. Also, I don't know, speaking of ugly shit and just brain dumping, I don't know how to process the fact that my daughter is going to be moving into an apartment with her boyfriend 2 days after she turns 19. Like, I'm excited. I'm also concerned because she's getting the apartment with her boyfriend and they both just graduated high school. You know what I mean? Like if I think about me when I was 18, 19, If I had moved in with the person that I was dating at the time, it would have just been gnarly. Like I don't want her to get hurt, and there's nothing I can do about it. I guess this is just parenting, right? Like this is just being a dad to a daughter, but like I'm excited. I know it's a good change for her. Like I know she needs to get out on her own. It's not always a great thing that she's got at her mom's house, and that's not a knock on anybody. It's just true. um Listen, it's big of you to let the daughter's boyfriend move in with you though. Like that's a big deal. Um so but yeah, like it just she's got a really good head on her shoulders. And so I know she's like overthinking everything. I also know she has been wanting to move out since she was like 15. So I'm glad that she didn't run away like she said she was going to. And that she actually, like, her apartment is way closer to me than her mom's house is. So it'll be great um to have her just like 20 minutes away. That'll be awesome. And so I'm looking forward to what that means for us. And like I also recognize she's moving, or like she's moving to this side of town because he's a firefighter and she works at a hospital and she's going to school full time, and so like they both have a lot on their plates. um so it just is like I don't know, I don't know what to do with it. And I support it. I'm here for it. I'm happy for her. I'm so fucking stoked for her. Honestly, because I know that this is going to be a huge deal. I just don't want it to backfire. I don't want her to get hurt because she moved in with the boy that she dated her senior year of high school. And then after, like, he's a solid kid. Like, he's a good kid. Um, I just don't want this to backfire for her. That would suck. And I don't know how that would go for her if it did, is the other thing too, right? Like, yeah, she's resilient and she would bounce back, but like, what would it do if that happened? Because I think to when I was 18, 19, and like I took those breakups hard, and I didn't even live with any of them. So it's just been something that, like, she just told my wife and I yesterday that they had signed and were moving on November 20th. So I was like, hey, that's my buddy Gabby's birthday. And also 2 days after your birthday. You'll be 2 days 19 and he will still be 18 because he's younger than she is. And yeah, I know that the two of you would just hop in a beater van and drive I'm imagining like a Volkswagen bus, drive from where you're at all the way to Ohio to just but it is heartening to hear that both of you are still with the girls that you met when you were 19, because that is not the case for me. It took me an additional 10 years to meet my person. So I was trying at the time, it just wasn't working out for me. So anyway, this turned into exactly what it should, which is like this is just bros hanging out and sounding off um listen, it would be so much fun if we just like road tripped around. Like if I started in Ohio and then went to Oklahoma and then we drove down to Vaughn in Texas and then drove back to Ohio, and then I stayed in Ohio and the two of you drove back to Oklahoma, and then Vaughn, you finished the trip driving back to Texas again, and like it was a U-Haul situation where you drop it off in any state or whatever. Like that would be so much fun, and just hit comic shops and breweries and local businesses and local eateries and food trucks all along the way. Like, I need to eat some tacos from a food truck in Texas. That's what I need in my life. Okay. So if we could get on planning that, that would be dope. And like figure out when cons are happening and hit a couple cons together too. Like, best road trip ever, is all I'm saying. So, make it a thing. Like, we could run a Patreon or something. Dude, I would have lost my shit if the two of you walked in at 5-star. I would have been so would have been nuts. And it's happening bigger and better next year in Dayton in June, and again in Middletown in September. So you have twice as many chances to come for those. So there's that. Um, but yeah, dude. Oh yeah, let's go. That you've eaten at and it's a Central American restaurant. Let's go. Yeah, I'm in. I'm so in for all of those things. My phone is about to die, so I'm going to end this before it ends randomly as I watch the percentages literally just tick down as I'm watching it. That's not good. I don't think my phone's supposed to be doing that. Maybe it's time for an upgrade. Welcome to ADHD. This is what my brain does all the time. I told my friend that she was working. It's my boss's wife. She was working as a contractor for him on Friday, and we were talking like her son has ADHD, and she was like, "Yeah, I just asked him like, what are you thinking about right now?" And he rattled off like 4 or 5 things. And I was like, "Oh, that's it?" She was like, what are you thinking about right now?" And I rattled off about 17. Um, and she was like, "Uh, how? How do you live with that?" And I was like, "I just have gotten used to it. I don't know." She was like, "Do you take medicine?" I was like, "Nope. My mom never wanted me to take medicine, so I've never taken medicine. So I don't know what that's like." And she was like, when our son took it, he kind of had an anxiety attack because his brain was quiet. I was like, I don't know what that's like. I've never had that. So, um, yeah. Anyway, all of that to say, I this has been great. I'm glad that this worked out and that we were able to do this. And it was the three of us hanging out like it always was with some pop ins from some other folks. I saw you show up, even though you didn't sound off in the comments. That's okay. It's okay. It's a safe space. You can be introverted here. It's fine. I talk enough for everybody. So it's kind of the point of going live on your own Substack, right? Anyway, tell your friends to tune in and read indie comics and make indie art and do the thing and live their best lives. Because if you don't take a chance, you don't get the reward of taking that chance and seeing it pay off and feeling the excitement of other people being hyped about the thing that you created. So once Barricade Brigade shows up at your doorsteps, I want to know about it. Send me your feedback. I've already gotten some. It's been really positive feedback all around. And I don't think it was just those people giving me lip service. So, um, yeah, go do what's good for you and read some indie comics. Until next time, I'm out of here.